Hey guys, welcome to Frost and Fist. I am Freak and I play the Imperial Fist, and I'm here with my awesome co-host.
I'm your wolf brother, Mythos Kushmanada, and I play the Space Wolves.
And guys, we're going to talk about a couple of things and why are we doing this video? What's the purpose of this channel? And maybe perhaps really get you guys even involved as well. So we've got different perspectives. So before that, we're going to go ahead and start with Mythos. Mythos, what are we doing here with this channel?
So the purpose of the Frost and Fist, we basically want to take something that we love and hopefully try and share some of it with you. We love the game Warhammer 40K. We love the hobby that goes with it, and we really love our armies. I mean, I really love my Space Wolves. You know, I've been a big fan of them since even before actually playing the game, and I consider myself a true son of Fenris. So that being said, I'm going to bring you the Frost, and my man here, Freak,
Gonna bring you the Fist. I really like the tenacious attitude of the Fists, especially the never die attitude. And of course, if they have to, they will die for the cause. And most of all, I really love their color scheme.
Color schemes. I'm so jealous you like your color scheme, but we'll talk a little bit more about that as we take a look at my army. However, before we get into the armies, let's talk a little bit about ourselves and introduce ourselves to you. So, my name is Mythos, and I've been a gamer pretty much my whole life. You know, I've been into tabletop games like Magic the Gathering since middle school. You know, I started with a classic green worm deck. I'm talking dragons and elves, making it happen. And then I got into a tournament level Megrim deck. I was very good with it. You know, I toasted many an opponent. And transitioned over to RPG tabletop games. So we're talking, I started with White Wolf. So we're talking Vampire the Masquerade, Mage the Ascension, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Trinity.
You played everything.
Yeah, I did a lot of that. And then eventually worked my way over to things like D&D and even Dragon Age. And I've been both a GM at, you know, mastering the game, but I've also been many a player in many a game. And I just really love the gaming experience. Now, all that gaming experience, it's always been beaten in my head, I don't have enough money for Warhammer 40K. And so even as an adult making my own money, I never thought, hey, let me go try that game finally. It's just, oh yeah, that's that expensive game I'm not gonna play. But one day I'm at my local game shop, Swords and Superheroes, and I'm the first person dead in a massive, massive Magic the Gathering game that night. And with nothing to do, the store owner actually invited me to play a free demo of Flames of War, which is another war game that he had set up that night. Letting me play for free, I was really excited. I mean, the strategy, moving the dice around, soldiers, tanks, it was making it happen, and I was so stoked. And I'm like, man, if there was a more fantasy kind of version of this game, I would love to play it. My brother, Daz Kushranada, actually said, I think we can make that happen. And he walked over to the 40K section and said, I'm thinking about it. Man, I followed him over and I have been hooked ever since. My man Freak, I think I know how you get started. How did you get hooked in 40K?
Well, you know what? I got you to blame. So really, it started out with, you know, us reconnecting. We lost touch for a while, and I was able to, you know, reconnect with you, and you started telling me about this really awesome game that you told me, you're gaming every night, but you're not doing the Magic game anymore. You're now doing more of a tabletop game. And I was kind of interested in that because the way you described it was a lot more like D&D back in the day when it first came out. And I remember when it first came out.
And you know, I always discounted the use of miniatures and figures in D&D and other role-playing games. But now that I'm playing 40K, I'm like, why was I ever playing without the miniatures?
What's really neat about it is that it is like D&D, but with actual tangible miniatures, with actual tangible units. And it reminded me of the Dungeons and Dragons days, and also, of course, Star Frontiers and all that good stuff. So when he was telling me more about the game, I caught interest, but I was really more concerned about the cost. And I wanted to make sure that when I was going to make an investment, because guys, I'll be honest with you, this is an investment, it's a hobby. And so, you know, count the cost. But he actually was able to help me understand that I don't have to go full steam and blow a lot of cash up front.
And here's the thing, you know, you can definitely start with a smaller army, 500 points, combat patrol kind of level. It's a great entry game. But on top of that, even though there's some costs associated, you think about it, you know, your PlayStation is awesome, but eventually that's going to need to get upgraded again and again. Same thing with the computer. Most guys I know that play 40K, many of them have had their army like 20 years or more, and while you got to upgrade a computer from time to time, you can always dust off an old army and put it on the table.
And that's what's really the beauty of this game, because it is timeless. So,
and in another video, we'll talk about some hacks for the game where you can get into the game for a little cheaper than you think.
there's a lot of little things that that will kind of help you really bypass the big box store items. That way you're not spending a whole lot of money, okay? You're definitely gonna have to invest in the Army, but there's ways around it to kind of minimize some of the cost.
So, talking about our armies, man, I keep saying it, I love my Space Wolves. You know, I've always been drawn to wolves, foxes, other canines, and now that I'm committed to Space Wolves in 40K, you know, I'm looking at getting some ink, getting a Space Wolf tattoo. You know, I love my wolf shirts.
Where are you gonna put that? Never mind. I
you
don't
know. We're talking wolf shirts, wolf bracelets, necklaces, you know, just everything I've got, it's gonna have some kind of wolf theme to it. And that's always been part of my personality, and it's just gonna get so much more accentuated.
Wolf blinging.
Now, what do I like about the wolves? Man, I love their personalities. They're stubborn. They get the mission accomplished their own way. You know, it's that chaotic good kind of feel. And play style, I love getting across the table. Nothing says more that I'm engaged in the game than getting up close and hitting someone in the freaking face. That's what I love. And carrying that over to my army, seeing that I can do things like ride a badass Thunderwolf across the table to do just that, sold. Completely
Amazing.
sold. So, I mean, yeah, I love everything about my army except the color scheme.
Why do you not like your color scheme?
So it looks great in the books, it looks great in the artwork, but on the tabletop, on a miniature, I feel like the blue and yellow, it just looks way too cartoony. Like,
Right, now here's the thing, we love cartoons. I mean, come on, we love cartoons, but not on our model.
Right. I have trouble feeling like this badass on the table is riding this Thunderwolf, slaying heretics, you know, chopping down Xenos, but he's kind of got the color scheme going that looks a little bit between a Smurf and a Mickey Mouse. It's just not working for me. So you can see from my army here, what I did was, and this was at the very beginning when I first got into the game, I painted them up. I said, no codex or no document is going to tell me my Space Wolf needs to be this cartoony blue and yellow. So I said, I'm going to paint them with the color scheme I like, and I painted these black and silver that I really love. And I love black and silver. However, I have caught some flack for it. You know, I've been removed from 2 events. I have, frequently when I'm playing someone, I have to answer several of the same questions over and over again, like, are you ever going to finish painting your army? Well, they are painted, they're just a black and silver theme. You know, are they chaosy because they're black? Well, they're not chaos, I just like a black and silver theme on my armor. You know, and to be honest, you know, I hear so much, I'm probably going to end up painting them a legal Space Wolf color. But I still can't quite bring myself to that classic blue and yellow. So I'll rebel a little bit, and I'm going to paint them up in that dark gray and black of a 30K Space Wolf. They're going to be in my 40K army, but that's just going to be my army. There will be a legal Space Wolf color, and I'm just going to stay away from that classic.
Right. I really like the idea that you can kind of keep your signature look, because it's you, it's who you are. It represents who you are and how you actually play. So I like that you can put your own personality in your own paints, and that's something you shared with me, that I didn't have to stick with the specific bright canary yellow fist that I've seen in so many videos. So I took the liberty to actually change them to the way I like it, yet keep them playable, because you want to make sure that it's cohesive in the games, right? So that's kind of what you want to do. And you remember, guys, there's going to be so many different styles, so many paint jobs. You don't have to subscribe to one specific paint style. Make it your own, but make sure that it does that isn't a playable unit. And we'll go over that in other videos.
And I love the way your army looks. You have that classic yellow and red trim look that a fist does, but that darker shade of yellow really makes them look a little more hardcore, in my opinion. It's not canary yellow. It is not mixing bullets in Big Bird. It is straight up a darker, more hardcore look to the fist, and I think it looks great.
Right, it actually looks like an army and not a bunch of little canary birds, playing around on the tabletop.
So I talked a little bit about personality and some of the play style that makes me love my wolves. Tell me, what makes you a Son of Dorn?
Well, what makes me a Son of Dorn is the fact that we are, like I mentioned earlier, tenacious. They never turn away. They know no fear. Okay, and I love the ideal of the Space Marine, but you put the Imperial Fist motto, and it is do not turn away. Failure is not an option. And I truly, truly love that model, and it shows not just in their play, in the codex, and they really go at it. And so I really do enjoy that particular model. And what's cool is that not many people play Imperial Fist, so it stands out. It's different, like Freak.
You're absolutely right. So let's take a look at these armies, and while we're taking a look at them, I'm just going to briefly go over my army list, and then we'll go over your army list. Okay. And that will just kind of set us up where we're at, because that may contribute to our channel later on. So I've got some Sky Claws, a pack of Blood Claws, a pack of Wolfen, a Land Raider, Logan Grimnar in his chariot, because that's awesome. I've got 2 wolves that I always take with my HQs. They are the 2-headed wolves from Hordes, because I think they just look hardcore that way. Behind Logan Grimnar, I've got my brand Redmaw conversions, and it is a conversion I've done myself, and I just love the way it looks. And I love next to him, he's got his monstrous creature form, his werewolf form when he wolfs out. That's actually a Reaper model, but man, I love playing them together. And Brand may not be the best HQ choice, but he is such a fun HQ choice because you are just waiting for him to wolf out the whole game. I've got a pack of 3 pack leaders behind him with some special weapons, and behind that I've got some Long Fangs. I've got my Stormfang gunship in the back, and man, I love the way that came out. I mean, it is a presence on the field. It's got firepower, it's got style, and more than that, I may be painting up a Legal Space Wolf color soon. That ship is going to stay the way it looks now.
It's big. Hey, size does matter.
The way that ship looks now, I love with all of its black with silver trim. It looks like something Batman might pilot.
Heck yes, if I was that small, I would definitely want to fly it.
Next to that, you see my Thunderwolf Cavalry, and with my Thunderwolf Cavalry, you see my Canis Wolfborn. And Canis Wolfborn is one of my favorite HQ choices with his big cybernetic wolf underneath him. He's really awesome, but I very seldom play him as Canis Wolfborn lately. I usually play him as Wolf Lord on Wolf Mount, so I can get the Death Pack detachment traits. I also have my Iron Priest on Thunderwolf Mount. Got me a Dreadnought, Arjak, and a Shield Brother unit. I love that formation, but ever since the Wolfen came out, I very seldom take Terminators now. And then I've got 2 Land Speeders. That I think is a really underutilized unit, because you equip that thing with a couple heavy bolters, leave it at its max distance, and that thing can just pelt down strength 5 bullets from a distance.
Yeah.
And people don't even realize that they're being peppered with it. They tend to ignore it. Next to my Land Speeders, I've got a Jaw Stormcaller and a pack of Terminators with him. And that kind of, and then I've got my Grey Hunters with a Rhino. That kind of rounds out my current list. It's been pretty helpful so far, and I can't wait to get them all painted up to some Legal Space Wolf colors and maybe add some more units to it. Freak, let's take a look at your armies.
What's really cool about what I'm doing is, since I'm just starting out, it's given me an opportunity to kind of see what you're doing, how you've actually started out your army, because you were exactly where I was, right? And so it's really cool that I can always refer to you. But again, right now I'm just about over 500, so it's still a small army, but I love it because I put a lot of time and effort into it. I put a lot of paint to it, and that's the cool thing about when you're starting an army. You're going to invest your time and your effort into it. So right now I have a Dreadnought. I love my Dreadnought. He's got a missile launcher, and he's got a twin-link cannon, or a lace cannon. I also have my Land Speeder Storm, which is we know that it's a transport for scouts. great for delivering those scouts right where they need them. Great for objective seizing. Also had a squad of tactical. I have a squad of assault and a squad of devastators. So not very big. Of course, I'm kind of missing a few of my assault because I'm actually redoing their paint since we've just doing a little airbrushing, and so I enjoy the airbrush. I'm kind of touching them up a little differently, trying to see how they work out, and who knows, we'll see. Maybe they actually turn out better. Maybe they'll look ridiculous, but at least, hey, I'm having fun doing it.
Man, for a guy who just got started in this hobby, this man's got some serious skill with an airbrush. Can even say he is a freak with the airbrush.
I'm a freak. Tell me about it. Anyway,
but that's actually going to be part of what we want to bring you with this channel. So we're going to have a playlist updating you and having you watch us grow. Helping Freak here watch his army get bigger. Maybe when we do our updates, getting some of your comments, what you think he may want to add next to his army. And then my progress is going to be taking my army that I have and I'm going to convert them up between commissions into some legal Space Wolf colors.
What's really cool about this is that we not only can feed off each other, I mean, he's more like a mentor to me, but what's cool is that you guys who are far more experienced than both of us put together, you can actually give us input. So this isn't a one way, you know, we get to learn from you, and who knows, if you're just starting out in this game, you get to learn from us a little bit. So hopefully you'll get something out of it.
By no means are we experts, because being in the hobby for about a year, you know, anybody who's been in the hobby a year is still a noob by the standards of most people who've been in this game for 20 years. So we're still new, and we want you guys to grow with us. Some of the other things that you can expect on our channel, we want to do a playlist of battle reports. We want to bring you some of the games in our local area.
And what comes with the battle reports?
Oh, we want to start incorporating some trash talk. So
gotta have trash talk, baby.
Breaking out the microphones. And let me tell you, some of the players that we play with, we got some personalities that like to talk noise.
Oh yeah.
But we want to capture some of that noise on camera so we can bring in the microphone in about 3 turns and say, hey, you promised a face wrecking over here, and it seems your opponent seems to have wiped out that Devastator squad, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've had to eat crow many a time because Light knows I like to talk noise.
No, it's like chicken. It tastes just like chicken, bro.
So sometimes the noise works out, sometimes you gotta eat it. But either way, it's all in good fun.
And not, you know, noise, it's just, we're talking about trash talk noise, right?
Right,
Gotcha,
right.
okay.
And then the last thing is we want to bring you some hobby tips, because again, there's some ways you can save money in the hobby. There's some ways that you can do some of the artistic side things that maybe you didn't think about before.
Right, I mean, if you're starting out, remember, you got a budget. You know, you may not have a lot of cash to throw at the hobby. So there are ways to actually, you know, make your units look really good without throwing a lot of cash at it. And we're going to share those tips with you.
Freak's got his tips, especially with the airbrush, and he's got some other, he's been in art a long time, and he's got a lot of knowledge he can drop on us. I've got a pretty good hand with terrain. I've got a pretty good hand with bases and other artistic things that maybe on the creative side you can add to some of your models. So hopefully you can share some of your tips with us and we can all make it work.
Right. Well, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and we're going to be making some more. As always, please don't forget to comment and even subscribe, and hopefully we can bring something that you can take away.
We hope you join us for that next video.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.
Till then, stay frosty.